Hello everybody, I'm Ernest. Today I'm here to talk about my 2022 Indian Challenger. I bought this of March of 2024. It is now July 2025. I bought it with like 4,000 miles on it. It now has 10,800 miles. It's not a lot of miles, but you can remember I own two motorcycles, so the mileage is split up between those two bikes. So let me go through what I have done with the bike personally to add my own little flair. Here's one of my little details. I just did that yesterday. As a matter of fact, I got that on Amazon. I thought it's goes with the red blue scheme on the bike. Kind of tie it in. I added this Hot Wheels, and this I got this from what was that, Brave? I did a video on this anyway. I can't remember the sticker manufacturer, Braveheart or something like that. So I put that on there, and then I added a pinstripe to the colors. As you can see, it's multicolors, so now I have several colors on it, and to me the bike looks like it's customized. I paid $22,000 for it last year with the 4,000 miles on it, and I don't regret it. It is now a great bike. Now, if you've seen my earlier videos last year when I first got it, I made a video on it, and I was kind of mad at it. I had some major problems with it when I first bought it, but that has all been resolved now, and it was mainly, well, all of it mainly was this screen right here, the ride command system on this bike. Navigation hasn't loaded up. So when I first bought it, it would just go dark and completely shut off. The bike didn't stop running. It still ran great and everything. I took it back to the Indian dealership. I bought it from Indian here in Boerne, Texas, and they got with Indian, and Indian said to replace the unit. So they got it has a new ride command with the 2024 software on it, and ever since then I haven't had any problems with it. None. I was looking at Harley Davidson, buying a Harley Davidson, but I went and stopped at the Indian dealership, and they gave me a better deal than Harley did. And plus, this one is water cooled. So this is a 108 cubic inch Power Plus engine, water cooled. You can see the radiator right there. I think it's like 120 something horsepower and 128 foot-pounds of torque, and it'll get moving. Let me talk about comparison to a Harley Davidson, and only because last week I did almost 500 miles on a street glide. I was in Chicago, and then we rented some street glides, and we did some Route 66 stuff. I say me and a friend of mine, and we rented a street glide and a road glide. I believe they were 2025 models, and so I have recent history in riding a Harley Davidson. So what I can say in comparison, as far as power, now this is water cooled 108, and what we had was a 117 air cooled. It had great power. As a matter of fact, I think it had more low end torque than this particular bike. Let me turn off the navigation off on the system. Oh, and I did pinstripes in the speakers too, if you can see that. So now that it's fresh in my mind what it's like to ride a street glide, let's start with the engine. The Harley had more low-end torque earlier. This probably has more torque. You just, on the water cool engines, you have to rev it up more than you do in an air cool engine, but they make more power. So it's just a matter of riding style. So if you're used to Harley Davidson low end torque, this has good torque. Don't get me wrong, but this is more like similar to like a sport bike. You have to rev it up a little bit to get the power out of it, but then it will pass an air cool engine, and plus you have the water cool to keep your temperature on your bike is easier to maintain in heat, which down here in Texas it's really hot. And let's say you live in a city and you have to stop and go traffic, the water cool will really help you a lot. And there's a radiator. This has Brembo brakes, very good brake system. So did the Harley Davidson that I just rented. I would say it's just as good or better than this bike. It's pretty close. The engine was pretty close. It had a 117. I would think this one would have more top end power than the Harley. For sure, the Harley rides rougher than this. This is a very plush bike. The Indians, I had a Springfield. This is my second Indian motorcycle, and I can tell you from experience, this rides a lot more plush than that. And the seats, I don't feel no reason to upgrade the seat on this Indian. It is a very nice seat. It was one of the few bikes I bought that the seat didn't need to be upgraded. It actually was comfortable right out of the box. I like this little Indian logo here, and it lights up here. You have the see-through fairing there, so air will come through. One of the other major thing with the Indian, let's say over a Harley Davidson, because that's the most popular thing, is this windshield. I guess I gotta hold it up while you're going, when the motor's off. This is one of the best options that a motorcycle of this caliber can have. That has been super useful. See, there's a 10,859 miles. So I put about 6,800 miles on it. The range, on a full tank, I can go about, let's say, 220 miles to 30 miles, but I really don't let it, I've never tested it, but I know I've gotten about that far with a full tank. I think it's a 6-gallon tank. The exhaust is stock. Everything is stock. I have not touched the engine or the exhaust or any performance mods. All I've done is the pinstriping and the little decals I've done here and there. And that's it. I'm probably gonna do some more mods to it. What else? So that's what I like about an Indian. Number one is you're a little different from the crowd that seems to prefer the Harley Davidsons. And I don't got nothing against Harley Davidson, but this one's a little bit different. You know, everybody has a street glide and road glide. It seems like these days, or in for a long time, we are Indian is not the number one cruiser in the United States as far as sales goes, but I think for bang for your buck, if you're into that, and that describes me perfectly, is I tend to buy things that give me more for my money. I also put this little decal right there from the same place I got the pinstripes that I somehow can't forget. I did a video on them, so if you care enough to look under my playlist motorcycle, and you'll see where I did some stickers for this Indian and also for the Springfield. Large cargo compartment. Oh look, here's my jacket I had made. Very nice. I just came from a ride, and but it has large cargo capacity. I would say equal or just as much as the Harley Davidson. So the Indian Challenger, except for that ride command at the beginning of the ownership that gave me grief, the dealership fixed it completely, and I haven't had an issue since then. I did do one longest distance bike ride. I think it was close to 700 miles. I did a video on it. It's called the Texas Triangle. Left from San Antonio up to Fort Worth, down to Houston, and across back to San Antonio, forming a Texas Triangle. And it ran great. I had no problems. The handling of the Indian Challenger, let's say comparative to the Street Glide, I say it was on equal terms. I can't say, even the engine is pretty close, even with its 117 air cooled. I can say it felt more torquey. Neither bike didn't feel underpowered, but you really don't buy these. I don't buy these bikes for power. If I want to be fast and all that, I'd get me a speed bike, sport bike. That's what I'm trying to say. It's been a good bike. So I've had it over a year now. I've done over 6,000 miles with it, like 6,800, almost 7,000 miles in it. I still enjoy it. I still look forward to riding it on the weekends when I get a chance. Maybe I'll need to do a trip with it or something, but I can't say anything negative about it anymore since they fixed the ride command, and I'm a happy Indian owner. Maybe one day I'll buy Harley, but right now the Indian's working for its purpose, and I haven't really got the urge to buy another bike or to replace it. If I were to replace it, the Indian now has a 112 engine versus the 108 that this one has. That's what they're making now. And they put the power, they used to just put the Power Plus engine, the water cooled twin engine, only in the Challenger, and now they put it, I think, in the Chieftain, which is kind of has a fairing like the Street Glide. It's not a full, it's not a fairing that's attached to the frame. It's attached to the handlebars. So that's a matter of preference. I've driven both. Like I said, I just did almost 500 miles last week on a Street Glide, and I did a lot of parking lot stuff, and I don't feel the weight on the handlebars like a lot of people say. If it is, I can't tell. So yeah, I love my Indian Challenger. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.